Hello everyone, I'm Alice and I'm putting together some material useful for those people who want to prepare the B2 English test or simply want to improve their English. Today is going to be a practice lesson following directly from lesson 10 when we studied the use of modal verbs such as can't, must, might, should, etc. to express speculation. If you want, go back to that lesson and have a look, or if you feel more confident, just start straight on this one. I hope you will find this useful, and if you want you can contact me at my email address. Salve a tutti, sono Alice, sto mettendo insieme del materiale utile, spero per quelle persone che vogliono affrontare l'esame di inglese B2 o semplicemente avanzare nella conoscenza della lingua. Questa sarà una lezione pratica basata interamente sugli esercizi ed è il naturale proseguimento della lezione numero 10 dove abbiamo studiato l'uso dei verbi modali come must, can't, might, eccetera per esprimere speculazioni. Se volete andate a ripassare quella lezione o se vi sentite abbastanza sicuri cominciate subito con questa. Spero che vi sia utile, come sempre se volete potete contattarmi al mio indirizzo email. Buona lezione e ricordate, practice makes perfect. In ogni slide troverete una domanda che apparirà per prima con uno spazio vuoto. Voi dovrete riempire lo spazio vuoto scegliendo una delle tre possibili opzioni. Mettete pure in pausa il video dopo che avete visto le tre opzioni perché poi quasi subito apparirà la risposta con la parte giusta segnalata in rosso. I might have lost it at the market if I think that that's a possibility. But if I am almost sure that I have lost it at the market, I can say I must have lost it at the market. Now remember, when you do the test, pay attention to details. In this last question, you could have been tempted to say, she will pass the exam. And in spoken English, that will work. But pay attention because the question next to the empty space included to. So if you chose will, you should have thought that will can't stay next to. So another example of the use of be bound is Italy is bound to win the game. L'Italia sicuramente vincerà la partita. Or you can say she is sure to pass the exam, which is the same as she is bound to pass the exam, or Italy is sure to win the game. If you chose he must know her so well, grammatically it's not incorrect, but then it's the sense of the next sentence that contradicts the meaning. They only met 1 week ago, so the correct answer must be can't know. This is the perfect example of the use of could plus have plus past participle to describe a situation that could have happened if certain conditions were true. For example, he's so clever, he could have become a scientist if only he had the patience to study. Likely and unlikely are quite easy to understand because one means probabilmente o probabile and unlikely means difficilmente o improbabile. Now, in this question, it was quite easy to imagine that the correct answer is unlikely to, because the second sentence gave us a clue about the meaning. She wants to make a lot more money means vuole ricavarci molti più soldi. The important thing to remember is that there are two constructions with likely and unlikely. The first one is the one I call personal construction in the sense that it uses the subject. So, she is unlikely to accept our offer is an example of the first construction. But I could have said, it is unlikely that she accepts our offer, and this is what I call impersonal construction because it's very similar to our way to translate it in Italian. So, è improbabile che accetti la nostra offerta. Noi utilizziamo una costruzione impersonale. The last question is an example of when we use should to describe a situation that we expect to happen in the present or the past. In this case, it's in the past. You should have listened to my advice, but it's also a modal verb we use to express criticism. So you should have listened to my advice I'm not only describing a situation that I expected to happen in the past, but I'm also expressing my criticism. Another thing I wanted to tell you is that you could have used in this sentence, you ought to have listened to my advice. Ought to is a very similar, has a very similar meaning to should. I don't like to use it so much. So, and yes, it's very used in English, but not that much. So most people would use should. Right, that's it. You reached the end of the test. So I hope you enjoyed it, and